What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if revealing that certain character in the Batman was a mistake. And so we're immediately going to jump into spoilers here. If you have not seen the movie, or if you don't want to be spoiled, please turn away now. That is your one and only warning, and here we go. So, was Joker being in this movie a mistake? Now, I'm not necessarily even talking about, in this movie. Like, did he ruin the film? Did he ruin the final act? Anything like that? No, I don't. I thought that was a cool scene. Remember, it sounds like from behind the scenes, there's actually going to be a second scene with Joker as well, when Batman went to, back to profile the Riddler, which is a super cool idea, I think, in general, which Matt Reeves, I think, did say, like, it'll 100% be a deleted scene that we do get to see. It just wasn't in the movie. So, we'll have those two scenes. Obviously, we got the one in the film. I don't think it was a bad scene at all. I thought it was actually really, really cool. I like the dynamic of a Joker-Riddler team-up, by the way. But here's the deal. And I've seen articles even say this. I don't want to copy, like, a Screen Rant article, right? Obviously, that's going somewhere. But no, they do have an issue with Joker. And I don't think it's obviously by their own... they did introduce him in this movie, so maybe some of it is their own fault. But, obviously, you have the Joaquin Phoenix version. You had, obviously, Heath Ledger, and so everybody's always going to compare anybody to Heath Ledger. And then you had Jared Leto with, obviously, Suicide Squad and going down that arc. So what you've really done is a couple things. Number one, you continue to do Joker. So, again, like, even you have the movie Joker, and now you're making Joker 2, and then you have now Joker in this. You had Joker in the Snyder Cut. You had Joker in... So, again, like, some of that stuff is gone. Jared Leto, I don't think we'll see Joker again. But you also then... You have the idea, I guess, of it just being too much. And you also have the idea of, well, you're always going to be competing with Heath Ledger. And because it's so many times you've done it, you're going to have the situation where you have to keep doing things a little bit different. And some of them may work and some of them may not work. Does that make sense? Where, like, maybe it works and maybe he's an amazing Joker in the next movie, or maybe you're trying too hard, or maybe you have to take it down a really different angle. Also, I mean, you think of the way the Batman is, like this film, this first film in this, what we'd imagine a trilogy, like it is very dark. It's very, detective style. I loved it. It is in some ways, similar to the Nolan trilogy, but in other ways, it's not similar, and it's trying to do its own thing. But, like, then you think about Joker, and you're like, okay, well, what, would he act like a Heath Ledger Joker? Honestly, he probably would, I would imagine. Now it's up to them to say, okay, well, he probably does have a little bit of that kind of just thing behind him. But we also do want to make him a little bit different. You also then have the idea that we've heard maybe 5,000 times, maybe 5,001, that they really want to do the Court of Owls. Now, I do think the Court of Owls will... My personal prediction is the third movie, and I'll probably do a video on that separately. I think they'll save them for the third. I think there was, obviously, the teases pretty much throughout the Batman that the Court of Owls are out there and they are real. But because of just setting up Joker so obviously, right? Which... I did have seen people say, like, okay, well, that was kind of a weird scene because that was the only scene that felt like, okay, we're really going to say, hey, which we knew. We knew that and Robert Pattinson even said that there is a scene at the end of the movie that says, okay, here's where we're going to go next. So he did say that. He said that like 2-3 weeks ago, and he was 100% right. It did feel, I think, a little different than the rest of the movie, but it is what it is. But now, because of that, you've almost certainly set up, at the very least, a Joker-Riddler dynamic for the next film. Now, obviously, Penguin was hinted at for, bigger things, but he's going to be in the TV show, so you have to, I guess you have to wonder, could he reappear, in the next movie? And then you also have, maybe you throw in 1 to 2 other almost side villains, like a Penguin-esque thing, and you go from there, right? And that would be, I guess the thing I'm trying to say, even with the Court of Owls, the next movie has to be Joker as your main villain. I would imagine, because I just don't think you do that in this film if Joker is not the main villain of the next movie. And again, I guess the question is that a mistake? It's tough because I don't want to doubt them, especially because I absolutely love from start to finish this movie. You know what I mean? So it's like, who am I to doubt Matt Reeves after he just gave me a Batman movie that I don't know if we really who was wanting it 4, 5, 6 years ago, who thought we wanted this, right? But I mean, now that it's out, obviously we do want it. So who am I really to doubt him? But you have a rare opportunity, maybe not rare, but you have an opportunity in general here to really try out some different things. I think this universe, and I mean, they've said it too, right? People behind the movie, like, I think this franchise and the direction or the tone that they take, you can do these kind of characters. You can do Riddler like that. You could easily do a Joker, stuff like that. But you probably could do something like a Mr. Freeze or a Clayface or even like a Hush. Something like those characters really, I think, could work in a film like Mr. Freeze. You'd have to really go in a different direction, but I think you could do a more grounded version. Grounded, I mean, again, like Chris Nolan's trilogy was like that, but also this one is too, and then also in different ways. And then you also have the Court of Owls, which I don't know if and I guess the reason I would say third movie, second movie would, I think, just kind of be too soon. Maybe the Court of Owls would kind of be like the end game for this trilogy, kind of finish it off. But then also, again, when you introduce Joker, I just can't see how you can have Joker on the sidelines now after what you did in the second movie. I just can't imagine it. I don't necessarily want to call it a mistake because I do think so far so good. Obviously, with how he kind of acted, I think he acted fine in terms of what we saw, and he was hidden, right? We didn't get to really see him completely unhinged. We didn't get to see like the full face and like perfect lighting where you just really see him versus. Also, the fact that he's in there means that they have met already. I'd 100% imagine. So that is pretty cool, and that is a different dynamic than what we've seen, say, from like a Heath Ledger one, right? So like him breaking out and then him being a Riddler and him duo in the second movie and refighting Batman, right? That could be a really that just is a different thing that we haven't really seen before, and hopefully they pull it off. So I don't know if it's a mistake. I just think it's kind of like you could be missing other opportunities, and maybe that's the same thing as calling it a mistake, but that's kind of how I would see it playing out. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. I will be covering the Batman many more times on the channel over the coming days. If you guys want to follow me anywhere else, all my social media is in the description below, along with our Patreon and YouTube memberships. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.